Thank you, Madam Chair, for the opportunity to address this important forum as its second and last day draws near to closure. At the outset, I wish to extend my sincere gratitude to His Excellency, the President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, the government and the people of Egypt for the impeccable arrangements and the warm welcome. I have now the honor to convey the message of UN Under-Secretary General Yuri Fedotov, the Executive Director of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, I regret that I could not join you in person for this important occasion. Last year, we marked 15 years of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption. 2018 was also the African Anti-Corruption Year. I welcome your efforts to build further on this momentum with the African Anti-Corruption Forum. The high level of this meeting and its focus on key areas such as capacity building, intergovernmental coordination, and the relationship between corruption and development reveal your strong commitment to the fight against corruption. Corruption is clearly a barrier to realizing sustainable development agenda. While Sustainable Development Goal number 16 focuses explicitly on tackling corruption and money laundering, corruption also hinders efforts to achieve all Sustainable Development Goals. Reducing poverty and hunger, meeting targets on health, education, gender equality, and clean water all require a foundation of trust and accountability. Shared challenges require joint responses. The UN Convention Against Corruption, which enjoys near universal ratification, is an invaluable tool to support countries in criminalizing corruption and enabling the recovery and return of stolen assets. Progress is further advanced through a peer review mechanism that assists implementation. This has helped to identify technical assistance needs and make sure that these needs are met. The second cycle of the review mechanism is currently underway and focuses exactly on key challenges to prevention of corruption and asset recovery. Unodc is supporting you to make the best use of the Convention and its review mechanism. We are also partnering with regional organizations, for example, in support of the Africa Union Agenda 2063, which has a focus on the fight against corruption and complements the 2030 agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, in December this year, the world will come together in Abu Dhabi for the 8th session of the Conference of the States Parties to the UN Convention Against Corruption. I know that Africa will speak with a strong voice on this occasion. I look forward to meeting you there, and in the meantime, I wish you productive deliberations and safe travels home. These, ladies and gentlemen, were the words of Under-Secretary General Fedotov. I would now like to take a moment to elaborate on some of the concepts that he has introduced. He mentioned about UNCAC reaching near universal ratification, 186 parties as we speak. If we focus on the African continent, the African group in particular, 52 out of its 54 member states are parties to the convention. This means 96% adherence rate. And I was really heartened to hear a moment ago from the Minister of Justice of Somalia that adherence to the convention is high on the political agenda of the country. This is a very good news. We heard earlier this morning from our colleagues and friends from the African Development Bank about the progress made by this continent in the past 15 years. We heard about Nugu Ribadu, an anti-corruption icon of Nigeria. We heard about many other examples that come from this very continent. Well, it is important to add to that list of good examples the fact that the first ratification of the UN Convention Against Corruption comes from this continent. It was Kenya, the first country in the world, that signed and simultaneously ratified the UN Convention Against Corruption in December 2003. But ratification of this global anti-corruption instrument, of any international legal instrument, is of little significance without robust implementation. And also in this case, the figures in this continent are quite remarkable. All 52 African state parties to UNCAC were reviewed under the first cycle of the review mechanism, which unfolded between 2010 and 2015. Under the same cycle, 48 African countries acted as reviewers of other states across the world. As a result of such an active participation in the UNCAC review mechanism, we know, because you, African countries, told us, that to bridge gaps in the implementation of the Convention, Africa needs good practices and lessons learned. The second most cited technical cooperation requirement is capacity building, followed by on-site visits by anti-corruption experts, largely experts from other African countries, which is evidence that good anti-corruption practices are present and effective within this continent. And fourth, support with legislative drafting. Ladies and gentlemen, this forum has demonstrated again that Africa is determined and united in the prevention and fight against corruption. We, the United Nations, stand ready to continue to partner with you, at your request, in this challenging but attainable endeavor. Thank you very much.